and that comes through.
It's very, yeah, the Citizen Kane. I had a question as far as, I don't even know if this is even a question. It might end up coming off more like a statement. How do you feel about the fact that your work with Mystery Science and with Rifftrax and Film Crew, and then stuff like the Simpsons, where they essentially y'all kind of helped usher in like this era of a new form of humor where it's essentially breaking like a fourth wall, where you're kind of addressing something. Like I guess, like I just said earlier, meta commentary, and it's something that at least I didn't see really beforehand, before the early '90s. And I was just wondering, how you felt about the fact that you kind of.
Yeah, I think it is I think there's two things going into that I've always thought were themes, and that is something about, it's a Midwestern thing. We're not on the inside Midwesterners, so when we take movies and talk back to them, it's kind of like it was people thought that was something new and unique because they hadn't really seen a lot of Midwestern humor before.
Yeah.
I think that's part of it, that it seemed a little like, where the hell did this come from? and the other part of it is, yes, that you're saturated with media, and it was only a matter of time before people started talking back to it and reacting to it. And I mean, people have always done that, but you're right, there was a certain sort of thread that goes through those projects that you mentioned.
Has there ever been a movie that y'all thought about doing and it just became off limits for some reason?
That it just there's a little bit of a digital hash on the line.
Has there ever been a movie that just y'all had thought about doing and then it just became off limits for some reason?
Yeah, there's always been a few that we've thought about doing. Like, now in the Rifftrax era, there's certain sort of comic book films or something that seem like they'll be good, but there's just too much action in it that's too repetitive, and so we'll screen it and just say, since we can't trim this section, it's just not going to be, in totality, it's just not going to be that much fun to do, because there's going to be too much similar stuff. And part of it is that, again, that we don't want to, if we really dislike the film on a level that either find it distasteful or really not up our alley, then we're not interested in doing it, because the commentary is going to reflect that. I don't love every film that we do, but there's something about each one that I think is, sort of funny, or, that we can react to, and I don't want to just be going, God, I hate this thing.
So it makes me wonder, because I had like 3 or 4 friends I used to hang out with, and we all used to watch. We just had the tapes essentially, and which makes me want to ask about Coleman Francis as far as his work. So did you like his work, or did you dislike it? Was it something where there's a personal thing of like where you're looking at it, like, well, you can see what he's trying to do, or there's a gritty nature to it, or is there an aspect to it that you at least kind of was endeared towards, or is it just completely?
Well, I'll tell you, it's almost solely the enthusiasm of Frank Conniff, who, those movies made him laugh more than any other that we did, and he talked us into it. And to be honest, I thought they were just, I hated them, but not hated them in a, I would never have picked them. And so it was a sort of an inside thing where I got to just tell Frank how much, he had ruined my life and by having me do this series of films. But they made him laugh so much that it was, in a little way, it was sort of infectious. And there are some people who just can't watch those and who kind of agree with me, and then there are others who are, you could even go worse than Coleman Francis, and it would delight them, So it was a little bit polarizing, but in the end, we had enough product where it didn't derail the ship, the train there.
Is this going to be the biggest audience y'all have ever had, I assume? I mean, with the live show.
The largest audience?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you gonna be slightly nervous, or not at all, or you think you'll?
We've done enough live stuff, and we're sort of confident in what we have that I can't imagine being too nervous. I suppose anything could happen, and I like the live atmosphere, but a flock of wild Canadian geese could get in the auditorium, and that would cause mayhem. But even that might be entertaining. So.
I just have one last question. It's more of a fan question. I know y'all did Zombie Nightmare, John Micklethor, and I was wondering, since you're doing the Rifftrax, have you thought about doing Rock and Roll Nightmare? That was his little opus. There's nudity in it, but it's still pretty. I mean, it's very Thorish.
I haven't seen it, but I will check it out because we're always interested in material.
He's a lot beefier in this one. He has blonde hair. He has like a couple of music video moments. There's a scene with him fighting off little, as obviously as like post Gremlins, kind of like these little Slimer things with one eye. He becomes a metal god at the end. And he's just wearing a loincloth type thing too. So I mean, there's a lot of homoeroticism to play with as well. So, but
I will check it out. No Adam West though, I'm assuming.
It's Westless. It's completely Westless. Anyway, well, I won't keep you, Mike. I really appreciate you doing this.
That was my pleasure. It was nice talking to you.
And I really look forward to being at the theater on. I got about a good 30-minute drive, but I'm looking forward to it big time. It'll be nice to just see Planet.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you going out of your way to see it. It was nice talking to you.
Cool. You take care, Mike.
You too.
Bye-bye.